let's get going. Another Cosmetical review. I'm kind of looking forward to this one just because it's GT. GT macros always kind of whack. I will say though, initially I'm a little surprised they put these two characters together. Just because they don't have the best wave clear. So they can't really look to put pressure on. That was just really smart. He backed off so his Silver could get the solo heal. He hesitates there just for a moment because he wants to look at the Wraith, because the Wraith damage he deals is more permanent than the Mo. The Mo's just going to heal up off the wave. Many GTs start going their 2 points and 2 to start and focus a lot more on their gun just to be more oppressive early on. And then because of that, they'll use the gun to help get them low and then bird them to death. It's a little bit more consistent damage rather than relying on your arrows to do a lot of it. Because the GT in mid is usually where you put it, just because you want him to be able to bird to either lane. And this way he has pressure throughout the entire game. And at least throughout the entire laning stage. They just push out blue because the enemies just decided to rotate. And now because of this rotation, they're kind of delayed on this and they kind of get the free Guardian. They get it next wave. I don't know if that was on purpose, but that was a life-saving run in front. The Mo was about to grab the silver and Cosmetical just fell right in front. But yeah, I do expect Cosmetical to sit in this lane for a while. I wonder if Cosmetical is gonna go in early, like, cooldown for the bird. Does he have any points for bird right now? No.
Take out Krill. I see Krill. I see the enemy.
Nice job.
I see Victor.
What I expect to happen now is he's just gonna be sitting in this lane, probably and just tossing birds out while infinitely clearing it. Yeah, he goes cooldown on bird. So now he's just going to be clearing the wave, looking for birds on the side lanes. So his entire goal this game, or at least for the moment, is just to maintain blue prio. Whenever blue is getting pushed, he's just going to be there to counteract it. This mode is trolled. Never mind, he's the GOAT.
Let's take out Rem. I see Rem.
I see Shiv. Can hide from me.
The reason why Great Talent is really good this game though is that they don't really have a really good way, like a very good way of getting to him.
Let's take out Krill.
So he's gonna be able to keep his distance throughout the entire game.
Let's take out Krill.
Another body. Trap out.
And because they don't really have good dive tools for him, he's just able to kind of do whatever he wants for the most part. So yeah, this is very common. GTs will go their full gun spike before anything else, just so they actually have consistent damage throughout these fights. And with the 2 points in the 2, a lot of damage will be dished out.
Surprise.
They've taken our green guardian.
And because GT scales infinitely with birds, they don't really need the spirit. But if you noticed, a lot of the items he purchased already have spirit, so he's actually getting it for the bird as well.
I see some.
And that just shows kind of why GT's really good. The AoE slot that happens around the urn allows GT to get big birds, as well as the curse trap just having a lot of value just being on there. Like being on the urn drop off point.
Headed to green.
And just like that, he already has 20 stacks. And this is going to help him a lot with his damage overall. As, like, especially the mid-game damage, because they're not going to have any resistances yet. So just by having 20 stacks with the extra 20 spirit, it's just going to make him nuke people. Oh, that was really nice. He used his 2 to reposition. And then he was able to get his bird off cooldown to go look for a kill. That was really nice. And he canceled it midway through to like get the height. That way he could carry the momentum to the height. Who says Cosmetical can't have pocket movement on GT? But it just goes to show, like, he was able to distance himself between him and the enemies, and he was able to just win that fight straight up just by doing that. Like, he pressed one button, he distanced himself, and it was free peel. They couldn't really get to him. I didn't talk about it before, but the reason why he bought Reactor Barrier is essentially just for the Rem, Mo, and Wraith, because the only way he's gonna die pretty much this game is if he gets Mo grabbed, Rem ulted, or Wraith ulted. So the Reactor Barrier just helps a lot with that. And living through those. Like the Shiv, I guess, the Shiv and Zaleska, I guess, could just like dash up and fly at him, but it's not going to be as valuable for him. That was just beautiful. That is just pure game sense right there, and understanding where people are going to rotate and hide to. He didn't see him. He didn't see OC's anywhere on the map, so he knows he's hiding. And then through that, he has help with Vrake to look for him and scout. And because Vrake didn't see him, he knows that OC's is hiding somewhere close by. And because of that, he was just able to bird OC's and kill him. That was nice.
I want Shiv dead.
That is nice. A lot of people will look to bird someone who's already low HP. But he knows that there's a window between when the bird hits and the travel time, that by the time he uses this bird, that character is going to be low. So he uses it, gets the stun, and then the person dies and he still gets the stack. So it's actually sometimes better to use the bird preemptively to aid your team in getting the kill rather than just looking for executions with it. And that way it'll be much more reliable, or it's much more of a reliable way to get your stacks rather than just praying that people are low in lane and then going for it. So in lane, you could be like, hey, I'm looking to bird the right lane. And then you can be like, can you go in? And then if they go in, they follow up on your bird, you get a free stack. So you can almost use it as an initiation tool rather than looking for executions with it. And you might even be rewarded with a stack depending on how fast the person dies.
I see Wraith.
Man or beast I can't bring down. I see them.
Let's push Greenwich.
And this is almost very similar to the OC's videos I just did yesterday. So the main difference with the GT and OC's is obviously they're playing different characters, but this just goes to show the power of a character can change depending on at what point they are in the game. Cosmetical has 50 stacks. He's not going to be afraid to play with his team because he's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Even though he's only at 14k and he's kind of matching their richest players, like he's not giga ahead like Zergy is in this game, he's still just playing with his team because he knows he himself is strong.
This hunt is is
Similar thing. Didn't bother for the execution, charged it while they were still doing damage to him. And they were ended up getting the kill and the stack. 60 stacks in 15 minutes is crazy good. But he's going to show why it's like important. You don't necessarily need to greed your bird kills. He's popping his bird early more than anything else. And he's being rewarded for good play, so there's no reason to complain.
Let's take out Krill.
Yeah. So the reason they back off there is because they realized that they weren't really able to set up there, and they probably are all sitting on a decent amount of money. So they're probably like, this isn't really that good. It's a comeback earned, playing with resists. This isn't a really good fight. So they just decide to give it up and continue playing the game. And trying to get stuff off the map in another fashion. They're just resetting and taking it slow. They don't need to rush, they're strong, and they scale pretty well because of the Great Talon Bird now. Because if they decided to fight that urn, they would have likely died due to the resistances. And at the time, they actually got resistances for the, like, holding the urn. And they would actually just straight up lose the fight due to how many stats it actually gives. If everyone on Leviathan is there during the fight, they're actually up close to like 20-30k worth of stats in that fight. So it's not a good fight for them. At least until the urn is deposited. Well, that's a huge Billy ult. Same exact thing. He preemptively assumes that people are going to get bursted down once the Billy pulls them in. Gets the bird kill. Because of it. So he's just looking to follow up the Billy ult with his bird to chain CC. And he's getting rewarded for it because that person's dying. And that's just really good. Like, he's not greeting, like, a stack. But in a sense he is, because he's playing for it.
Let's take out Shiv.
And that's just confidence here. He knows that, like, no one can really interrupt him at all and challenge him in the air. I'll pretend I didn't see that. But he knows that no one can really challenge him in the air. So he's using that to, like, allow himself to play aggressively in certain situations. Even when he's alone.
firing.
But he's just playing mid because he has the global ultimate. He's able to bird at any time pretty much for his team. And because of this, he just has to sit pretty far away and he's able to come into fights late. The power of a global ultimate is pretty much just allowing people to be there even when they're not.
Go out there and impose your will.
And this is a smart play as well. He knows his team, like, normally what you might expect is someone to join this fight, but the goal of this fight is just to delay for this urn. So Cosmetical decides to join the urn just to confirm it, and that's why he's here. Plus, he has his bird, so if they're actually winning the fight, he can just bird and help them over there. But his team is just trying to buy time, which they do. And because of that, they get the urn.
Defend green.
But this just goes to show, like, how good Loki W is at picking their fights as well. They pick their fights so well to the point where they know when they can back off as, like, or they can try and buy time as, like, 3 people and not get picked off.
This hunt is over.
I see Shiv. Let's take out Krill.
Think so.
Let's take
He's
out
looking.
Krill.
not a not a
The
plus 10.
righteous have nothing
But that was
to
still
fear
smart.
from me.
He used the bird preemptively to get the stun on the Shiv and was actually able to secure the kill because of it.
Aiming.
Let's go to York.
Let's take out Krill.
They're just gonna go mid now. They got 2 picks, free mid.
I see Victor.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
I see Victor.
The rejuvenator is I'll find them. They've taken our yellow walker.
I see red. I see Victor.
Nice.
Take out Victor.
So what happens there is he preemptively birds on top of the rejuve in case they do contest. So he throws a trap and then you ult. That way anyone who does try to contest the rejuve just gets cursed, stunned, and they pretty much will die. And this pretty much just guarantees the rejuve regardless. Then with his flight pathing, this is just practice, he flies the bird out to look for something else.
Victor. I see Shiv.
I see Celeste.
Very impressive.
Let's take out Krill.
I see Celeste.
Let's take out Krill.
Lifting.
You can't run forever.
Let's take out Krill.
But yeah, he's pretty much been fully uncontested this
I see
game.
Victor.
He's hardly taken any damage.
Such blessing.
And it's just the power of the great talent into their comp. They don't have any sort of way to contest this GT in this guy. But most of his money in this game generally came from just the kills and assists,
There's no
as well as his waves. He hasn't farmed jungle at all.
Let's push blue.
Same thing there. He just used the bird to get the stun off and was able to get a kill.
Let's push Broadway.
I see Celeste.
I see that knife throwing son of a bitch.
We can do great things. If I stay on the ground, then
Let's push blue.
I see Celeste.
precision contact. Without you, they would not fall.
I see. Let's take out Shiv.
They won't get the drop on me. Protect the urn.
I see Celeste.
Let's take out Ray. I see Celeste.
This is smart. They're playing for the urn pickup because they know they have the numbers advantage. And this is the only way that they're able to get the urn because it's a comeback urn. If these 3 people weren't dead previously, they would not be contesting this urn without a rejuve of some sort. The resist that the urn gives is just so much power to the team who's playing the comeback urn that it's almost impossible to play for. Like even if you're winning, it's just so rough. So they aggress to the urn to pick it up because there's 3 dead, and because of this they're taking the fight and trying to run the urn away.
I do not miss.
The moment he has space,
Let's take
he
out
still wants to
Celeste.
have an impact, so he burns back in. Beautiful.
New York is my hunting grounds. Let's take out Wraith. I see Wraith. Let's take out Wraith.
Balance is just a really good buy here because he has 80 stacks. The extra 30, 35%? 15% spirit will go a long way.
I see Shiv.
I see Shiv. I see Victor.
Protect the urn. My arrow will strike true.
Good job.
That was just nice by low-key Yeah, by Loki W. What they did is they hostage the urn, pulled it away, so that this way, during this patch, I should say, uh, the team doesn't have the extra resists in the fight. So this is why they were able to take this fight so smoothly. Because they did have the lead, they're not afraid to take it. They're just scared of the urn resist. So they hostage it, take it away, so that way they can take the fight safely and win it.
I see the enemy.
They're just
I see
scouting,
that.
looking for
I want
picks.
Jib dead.
Right now, what he's doing is he's just playing back because he wants to initiate with his team with the bird. He knows it does a lot of damage and he wants to play for the stun. He doesn't necessarily need to play for the execution. Just ulting from a distance is going to be good, and then he's going to come into the fight late and then help clean up.
I see the enemy. I see the enemy.
But he doesn't greet the bird too hard. He just looks for someone, pops it, and then joins the fight because he wants to be there. And he's just popping people like flies.
I see Victor.
Holy bag.
I'm not afraid to die. Let's push blue.
They're probably just going to look to get Guardians here, and then they're going to look to go mid with the mid bus timer. It's up in 17.
Let's push Broadway.
Yeah. This is also really smart. What he did here is he placed one Great Challenge trap beforehand. What this will do is because of its lifetime, it's at 22 seconds, it's so long that he's actually able to get 2 traps down before the end of this mid boss. He also buys Alkfire, which is helping for just general AoE, and it's also really good on Great Talent because Alkfire itself scales with Spirit. And this is going to increase the amount of shred that he's applying to people, which is not only increasing his own damage, but his team's, as well as just an AoE 100 damage per second. Just due to the amount of Spirit he has, at least.
Soldier is here.
Because they have Rejuve, they're looking for the urn. So what the GT is going to do is he just shoved out the right lane, and therefore he's going to rotate mid to help push out blue. And once he has blue prio, he'll rotate over to the fight. But he's also just looking to defend his walker. Because his team, the other enemy team is going to look to split push something and try to get something off while they're doing the urn.
We must deliver the urn safely. Broadway is under attack.
But you always want blue prio before you do almost anything else. Unless something is absolutely free, you must have blue prio before doing something.
I see Ram.
Let's take out Victor.
But you can see that he's always coming into these fights late.
Let's take out Victor. Let's take out Rem.
I see.
Drown in the blood of your ally. I see Krail.
See Krill.
I see
See
Victor.
And
Victor.
he's playing super aggressive on the character too. And this is just because no one on the enemy team can contest him.
Society stands with us.
He probably would be doing something very similar regardless, just due to the nature of the character in this draft. But because he's so strong, he's just feeling way more confident and able to do anything he wants, pretty much. He doesn't need to be scared to do anything.
Let's push yellow.
But the biggest reason why he came in late to that fight is because they have the resistances, so they play the urn, but he doesn't use any of his abilities but until the urn is fully deposited because of the amount of shred and resistances that the enemy team has. So if he were to unleash his entire load on them while they have the resistances, they would be able to tank it. But now he waits after he unleashes his full load on them, and now he's actually able to get the kills. And this makes sense. He was thinking of buying Indomitable, but because of how strong he is right now in this draft, especially, he knows that the enemy teams won't really be able to get to him. at all, especially since he's coming late to these fights. So just having the Spirit Burn for more utility and like for more damage utility for the anti-heal, he's just gonna be so it's just gonna be so much more value for him than anything else. They're just playing it really safe. Okay, he's gonna do a crap ton of damage. I'm actually curious how much Spirit he has. 314.
I see that
I
natural
don't know if
son
this
of a
actually
bitch.
shows
Stop
the amount of bird stacks he has or not. I think it does.
See Shiv. I want Shiv
Yeah, it
dead.
does.
See Shiv.
So it's 314 Spirit, which is crazy.
The urn has been dropped.
I see Krill. Let's take out Krill.
I see that. We'll have you now. Time to get up, person.
I see Ram.
Yeah, like, what is the enemy team gonna do? Like, he was just in the sky, and he's uncontested. No one can deal with him. He's able to do whatever he wants.
I see
I
Ram.
see Victor. Victor's missing.
This thunder.
See the enemy. Let's take out Victor. Let's take out Victor.
Leave the prey.
I see the enemy.
There's the plus 100. That's GG's.